Listen to me. I want you to sit up and pay attention because we are talking about your security. We are talking about the money you have worked your entire life to save, and I will be darned if I let you throw it away on fees and taxes just because you didn't know any better. You are either retired or you are standing right on the doorstep of retirement. And what is your biggest fear? I know what it is. It's the fear of outliving your money. It's the fear that a market crash or a greedy Wall Street shark is going to take a bite out of your nest egg when you can least afford it. So you look at your portfolio and you see these things called mutual funds and these things called ETFs, exchange-traded funds, and you ask yourself, Susie, which one is going to keep me safe? Which one is better for my retirement? Well, I am going to tell you right now, the answer isn't just about what you buy, it's about what you keep. Because it's not what you make, it's what you keep after taxes and fees that determines if you can afford that life you've dreamed of. Let's look at the mutual fund. For decades, this was the gold standard. You pool your money with others, a professional manager picks the stocks, and you hope for the best. But here is the problem, and this is a big one for those of you in retirement: mutual funds can be tax bombs. Imagine this, the market stays flat, or maybe it even goes down, but at the end of the year, you get a tax bill for capital gains distributions. You're sitting there saying, wait a minute, Susie. My account value didn't go up, so why am I paying taxes? It's because the manager inside that fund was buying and selling stocks, and when they sell for a profit, you pay the price. In retirement, when every penny counts, you cannot afford to pay taxes on money you haven't even put in your pocket yet. Now, let's look at the ETF. An ETF is also a basket of stocks, but it trades like a single stock on the exchange. Why does that matter to you? Because of how they are structured. When people buy and sell ETFs, it usually doesn't force the fund manager to sell the underlying stocks. That means fewer taxable events. ETFs are generally far more tax efficient than mutual funds. If you are holding these in a regular taxable brokerage account, the ETF is almost always the winner. Plus 2. But wait. There is a but. If your money is inside a Roth IRA or a 401k, the tax efficiency doesn't matter as much because your growth is tax sheltered anyway. So, what should you look at then? You look at the fees. Wall Street loves mutual funds because many of them carry what we call loads. A load is just a fancy word for a sales commission. Some mutual funds charge you 5% just to get in the door. If you put $100,000 into a fund with a 5% front-end load, only $95,000 is actually working for you from day one. Are you kidding me? You just handed over $5,000 to a broker for doing what? Clicking a button? No! We do not pay loads. And then there are the expense ratios. This is the internal fee you pay every single year. Many actively managed mutual funds charge 1% or more. ETFs, especially those that track an index like the S&P 500, often charge next to nothing, sometimes as low as 0.03%. Plus 1. Let's do the math, because the numbers don't lie. If you have $500,000 and you're paying 1% in fees, that's $5,000 a year going to the fund company. If you're in a low-cost ETF paying 0.05%, you're paying $250. That's a $4,750 difference every year. Over 10 years of retirement, that is nearly $50,000, plus the growth you lost on that money. That is your travel fund. That is your emergency fund. That is your peace of mind. So, you ask me, Susie, which is better? If you are a retiree who wants simplicity and low costs, I want you to look at low-cost index ETFs. They give you diversification, they are easy to sell if you need the cash, and they don't have those hidden gotcha fees that many mutual funds carry. However, there is one place where the mutual fund still has a seat at the table. If you are the type of person who wants to set it and forget it by investing a specific dollar amount every single month, what we call dollar cost averaging, mutual funds can sometimes be easier because you can buy fractional shares directly from the fund company. Some brokerages let you do this with ETFs now, too, but mutual funds were built for it. But let's get down to the bottom line for your retirement. Most of you watching this should be moving toward ETFs. Why? Because the world has changed. In 2026, liquidity is key. An ETF can be sold at 10 a.m. if the world is falling apart and you need to get to safety. A mutual fund? You have to wait until the end of the day to find out what price you got. In a volatile market, that delay can cost you. Here is your actionable takeaway. I want you to open your statements today. Look for the expense ratio. If it is higher than 0.5%, you need to ask yourself why. If it's a mutual fund with a high fee, look for an ETF equivalent. Most of the time, you can find the exact same basket of stocks for a fraction of the cost. You have worked too hard to let your retirement fund be a charity for Wall Street. Stand up for your money. Choose the path that keeps the most money in your account. For most of you, that path is paved with low-cost, tax-efficient ETFs. Be brave, be strong, and most importantly, stay secure.